Want to see what MSC's Ocean Cay is all about? This is going to be a full walking tour of the entire island. Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend. And I'm in Ocean Cay on MSC's Divina, having an amazing time. Now, I just got off the ship and I'm walking through this security gate. You see how few steps it is before you actually make it into Ocean Cay, but it's a little bit deceiving, I would say. Depending on where you're going to go on this island, you may actually want to take a golf cart or the transportation to that location. That transportation pavilion is right there to the left. That's going to be where the golf carts are going to pick up. They've got chairs there for you to relax and to hang out in. And so if you want to take a golf cart or transportation, you see one right over there, that'll take you up to the spa. It'll take you to the yacht club. It'll take you to North Beach. Wherever it is you want to go, they'll run you there. Shore excursions are in this building here in the front that we just passed. So if you want a shore excursion, you want to sign up for something, maybe rent some equipment, that is a good spot to do that. Now, I'm not going to talk probably for the entirety of this video. The walking tour, this is a big island, you all. It took me probably an hour to an hour and 15 to walk all of this. And so I'm going to be speeding this video up. I'm going to be slowing it down as we go through the different phases of it. But I'm going to be calling out the highlights throughout this and some of the tips and tricks I've picked up by being on MSC's Ocean Cay for 3 days now. So this is an overnight trip that we're on. So this is the first day that I'm here. Now, right now, I'm walking through, I call it their business district or commercial district. They've got the MSC Foundation. So every item that you buy in there goes towards the MSC Foundation. And they actually have some of my favorite colors in this store. That was in the second building that we just passed. So if you go in there, you're going to see some of the prettiest blue-colored shirts, towels, little ship models for bathroom toys, all sorts of great stuff inside of there that you can purchase that will support the foundation. And if you're going to be buying a knick-knack or a tchotchke anyway, might as well have it go towards a good cause. Coming up here on the right is going to be one of, actually, the main bar on the island, I should say. They're going to have bars spread throughout all the beaches, but this is going to be the one that you can come to and hang out at. So if you are not a beach person, you don't want to be like in the heat, in the direct sun, this bar here is a solid spot. They have music playing, plenty of bartenders. They do not serve any food, though. That's the one thing to know about this bar. It is just a bar. Beautiful seating. I would say come here first thing in the morning, come here late afternoon before you get back on the ship. It's a really cool spot to be able to hang out at and then transition back onto the ship. And as you see, it is called the Springer's Bar. Don't know where the name came from. If you have some thoughts on that, let me know down in the comments. But this building here on the right is my absolute favorite building in the entire island because it is the Smiling Fish. They have soft serve ice cream here, which is amazing. I can't stress to you how much I am in love with their coconut and key lime swirl soft serve yogurt. So if you get to check out their yogurt, it's about $4.50. It is the best money you will spend on this cruise. I highly recommend coming and getting this. And by the way, they also serve coffee and iced coffee here. So if you want to get off in the morning and get to the beach before everybody else, this is a great spot to come get your coffee, or maybe it's a pick-me-up in the afternoon for you. If you're like me and you need a cup of coffee about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, this is going to be the place that you're going to come to get that. And as we turn around, we can head up to South Beach. So it is not the closest beach. That's going to be actually over by the lighthouse. But South Beach is going to be straight ahead. So if you get off of the cruise ship and just walk forward, you're going to run directly into South Beach. It is going to be the most popular of all the beaches. You can see at this point, that's where everybody's heading back to the ship from. So all aboard tonight is at 11:45 p.m. because we are here overnight. And so people are heading back at this hour to get ready for dinner and to see the lighthouse soiree. Over on the right-hand side, you see where that is the staff cabin. So the dorms, if you will, for the staff members on the ship. Notice they are staff members and not crew members on the ship, on the island that is, because it is a land-based job, and so the words change. So that is where they stay at. There are people that stay on the island year-round, taking care of the island and welcoming all of us guests to this island. So I'm going to do the first fast forward of the video so that we can move this along a little bit. Again, it is a large island, but the first place that you're going to come to as you walk towards South Beach, so you're walking north, you're going to see the food venue over on the left. It is not quite open yet, but they do serve a buffet there. And pro tip, make sure you're going early or you're going later because it does get a line to it. You'll also see the beach on the right-hand side is closed for some reason. I don't know if there's an algae thing going on or what have you, but that beach on that side is closed. Seeker's Buffet over here on the left, the food was decent. You had pork ribs, there was a fish that I could eat, hamburgers and hot dogs, any kind of potato salad that you would want, some squash salads, different things of that nature. And on the right-hand side, you're going to have the rental tent. So if you wanted to pick up an umbrella for the beach, if you wanted to pick up a floating mat, that's where you're going to get that from. Umbrellas, when I was here, were going for $15 per umbrella. So if you do want to get those, you can come grab it. Most people that came to South Beach did wind up getting an umbrella because it is very sunny over here. So if you're coming to South Beach, just come prepared knowing you're going to need to put $15 on your SeaPass card to get an umbrella. It will make a world of difference. South Beach is the most popular beach. This is where I think a lot of the families go to, a lot of the kids go to, and there's plenty of people for them to interact with and to play with. But as you can see, there's not a lot of trees in this section, especially when you get up by the water where the chairs are going to be at. So make sure that you're getting that umbrella. You're also going to have some beach shacks. So if you don't want to do the buffet, you can just swing up to a beach shack and they're going to have hot dogs, hamburgers, complimentary items at those two beach shacks. However, you'll see up a little bit further, I'll call out, they've got another beach shack that actually serves specialty items. So that's going to be lobster, I think they may have crab on there, or conch, all for an additional charge. But this beach here, actually, let me talk about the transportation pavilion here. This is where you're going to go to sit if you want to take the golf cart or be picked up by the golf cart. Again, you've seen how far of a walk this is. And this walkway that we're on now will go for another 20 to 25 minutes. So it is a big place. They're going to have bars all throughout. So depending on how far out you go, the bars may not actually open. We're going to see a couple of those that are going to be closed or they were not well manned because there just wasn't many people that went to those locations. So again, I emphasize this many, many times. If you are coming to Ocean Cay, try to spread yourself out. You don't have to take the first chair that you come to. You can keep walking and you can find more isolation and almost have a beach to yourself if that is something that you want. And here is that specialty beach shack that I was just talking about. That's going to have more items on there. I can't read the sign right now, but I think that they go for like $14 is what you're looking at as an upcharge to your vacation. And here on your right again, you'll see that beach that continues that is closed. So I don't know what's going on over there, but this beach has some of the best views of the cruise ship. So if you're wanting a picture with a cruise ship in it, very similar to many of my pictures, this is going to be the best spot for you to get those pictures of your MSC ship in the background. You see there's plenty of chairs here, so if you want to move them around, you want to put them under the trees, you can do that. They've also got those little green things sticking up. There's a speaker system throughout this walkway. So there is music that is playing. Depending on the section that you're in, that music can change a little bit, but for the most part, it's more relaxing music and nothing too terribly upbeat. They also are going to have cabanas for rent. So you see one of those on the left-hand side there. If you do want to just buy some shade, buy some nicer chairs, you can certainly do that. The cabana check-in was right there when we got to South Beach by the buffet. They will escort you over to your cabana that you've rented, and you can find it with their help because they are really all spread out. You're going to see them on South Beach and on North Beach where we're going to walk to. Coming up here on the right-hand side is a place that is off limits to us guests. That is right, it is the Crew Beach. So I am always very thankful that cruise lines give a safe space, I'm using my air quotes here, safe space, to get away from us passengers and us guests. We talk to them plenty on the ship. They need some downtime. They need to not be smiling and being perky every now and again. And so I'm really glad when I see crew areas like this on islands where they can escape, get away, and us guests should not be going into those areas. They do have signs that are up there. And so I would ask that everybody just abide by that. It is a nice beach. The other beaches are nicer, they'll say. They did give the crew the not as nice beach. We got the nicest beaches, but it's still a section just for them, which I think is really, really important. And if you walk around this island long enough, chances are you're going to want to come up here and look at one of these signs. This is going to be directional on where do you want to go, and it's going to point you in the right direction. I also think another great spot for pictures are from the bridge here. So you've got beautiful water on both sides of this bridge. You'll even notice that there is netting on the ocean side of this bridge to keep the big fish, if you will, out of this area. The smaller fish can still swim through, and there were thousands of the little, I don't know if they were little minnows or what they were, that were out there. You've got the skinny little needlefish that are out there, but there's plenty of fish that still come in even with that little barrier there. But the big ones, you know what I'm talking about here, they're kept out of this area, which is pretty nice. And if you keep walking down this path, you're going to come to North Beach there on your left. But if you keep going to your right, you're going to come here to the Ocean House, which is the Yacht Club exclusive area. So you do need to be staying in a Yacht Club room or suite in order to come into this space. Me personally, I didn't really see what the appeal was or advantage was this. I know the Yacht Club experience on the cruise ship is fantastic. But as you see, the setup here is very similar to the setup on the other beaches. They just have less trees on the actual beach itself. And it looks like everybody automatically gets an umbrella, and there's no $15 upcharge for that. Though I'm pretty sure you're going to still have to pay more for the exclusive cabanas that are in this area, depending on the kind of room that you may have gotten. I'll also say that the people leaving this area seem to have been having the most fun. As I am walking past them, they were a good time. You could tell that they were living their best life on this weekend sailing. Coming up, if you keep walking, you're going to run into the main house of the Ocean House. And that is where you can go for lunch. So if you're in the Yacht Club, you do have your own section. I did not have a Yacht Club membership or Yacht Club room, so I can't really say if it was a higher end experience here or not. This is first thing in the morning before people have gotten here, and they didn't have anybody checking for IDs or the SeaPass cards, so I could come in and film. It also looks like a really good shaded area, so if you wanted to come and play cards and you had access here, I think that this would be a really neat spot to be able to relax, order a drink, and have a higher end experience. Not sure it's worth necessarily the price or that it's that different than what you're going to get in other places, but it is nice to know that you can do that. The one thing that kind of concerned me about this experience here is you would think that they'd have an enhanced restroom experience, the toilets. But what you see here are the toilets, and this is not, in my opinion, any nicer than the other ones. The other ones actually appear to be more nice. They're not something that they've pulled in. That was the same thing that was there the last time that I came to the island as well. So it looks like it's a permanent fixture. They've just never decided to build anything on this side to give a proper restroom to the Yacht Club members. Now what you're looking at is the very north side of the island, or Bimini Beach as it is called. It is probably one of the more remote beaches that you're going to find less people at. You still will see the cabanas that you can rent. They've got tons of them throughout this island, but this beach is going to have even less people. One of the things that I'll point out that is a downside to Bimini Beach and to North Beach as well is that you're going to be limited on your food options. So that buffet that you saw quite some time ago is the only buffet on the island. What they are going to have over here, though, are two of the beach shack are food trucks, I guess is what they are, where they're going to be serving hot dogs and hamburgers. So you're going to be a little bit more limited in your food options over on North Beach and Bimini Beach. But if you want to get away and escape a little bit, this is going to be a good spot. The bars up here did open up. There were enough people that they had one bartender in here, but it was nothing over the top. So the beach here does continue. As we go to the right, this is actually a dead end. So as I'm walking down Bimini Beach and North Beach, they're split with North Beach on the left, Bimini Beach on the right. There's no outlet here. So once you get to the end of this, you're going to need to turn around and head back. They do have restroom facilities that you see there, and they've got those beach shacks as well. So it can be all isolating or all insulating, but this is what you're going to find. Here's the end of the paved section, but you can walk even further until it comes to an opening where they chose not to build a bridge. Just be careful when you're walking over there because they do have sand spurs that I stepped into, and that was absolutely no fun. Now I'm going to speed up the video once again and head back to the buffet. So that is kind of where you get the option to stay in South Beach, or you can continue walking to the right and come to Bimini, North Beach, or go over to the Ocean House Beach by the Yacht Club Experience. Now I like to show the entire walking, me going back and forth, so that you can get a good understanding of where you need to be moving or how you need to walk around this island. I know a lot of people have enjoyed the full ship tours that I've done because I'll even walk up the stairs and show you, here's me going to the next floor. And people really appreciate being able to see the full picture, and they don't get lost, and they can have really good spatial understanding of where everything is at. And so you'll see there, that is the cabana attendant on the right. So if you do get one of the cabanas, you're going to rent it from him. More directional signs showing you, do you want to go left or go right? And you've got the map there on the right as well. So if you do not remember what beach you want to go to, you just say, oh, Brandon said going to X beach was the best. Make sure you're looking at the map so you can figure out where you're going to go and what your next move is going to be. South Beach, again, it's going to be one of your busiest ones. That's what we're looking at right now. You can see the platforms that are out there in the middle just past the umbrellas. That's a place that the kids love to swim out to. They do have lifeguards over in South Beach as well. Not all of the beaches here will have lifeguards. They're going to have signage showing you where there's no lifeguard on duty. But if you want lifeguards, you're going to want to hang out by South Beach or over on the Ocean House Beach to make sure you're getting that lifeguard and safety experience. We'll continue walking now as we come up to my personal favorite beach, which is Sunset Beach. So Sunset Beach is the secluded beach, if you will. I think most people don't even know that it's here. Everybody kind of goes to the right, they go to South Beach, and then they go over to the right up to North Beach and Bimini Beach. But Sunset Beach is my personal favorite, and I'm excited to show that one to you. Now, Sunset Beach is my favorite for a lot of reasons. But the first one that you're going to see is there's really nobody over here. It stays really, really quiet. There's that caution sign saying there's no lifeguards on duty. This bar also did not open during the day because there weren't enough people over here to order drinks. But what I will say is look at how many more trees there are out in or by the water here. So if you want to take one of these chairs, move it under a tree, you can reposition it throughout the day. I stayed out here for hours and did not get sunburned, luckily, because I had plenty of shade from the trees that I was able to move my chair at and make sure that I stayed in the shade. The one downside that I'll say to Sunset Beach, it is very rocky. So going out into the water is not the easiest experience on your feet. So if you have swim shoes on and you have beach shoes, I would encourage you to wear those over to Sunset Beach because it is the rocky beach. And so when I would go in, my little feet would just give way and I'd wind up falling into the water just to take the pressure off and floating out to where it turned into be more sandy in the water. But even walking down towards the actual beach itself was a bit rocky. You're also going to find the music in this area has switched. We are coming up on the spa. And so with the spa here at Ocean Cay, they're going to be playing that music as you get closer to it. So it's the traditional spa, relaxation, meditation style music that you're going to be hearing if you are close to the speakers or have your chair pulled back by the sidewalk. My chair, for the most part, was in the middle of the sidewalk into the water, not quite in the middle of it, and I really could not hear the music that well. Here's another facility of the restrooms. You see you've got your mermaid and your merman designating where you need to go, what side. But this is also a rental section. So you see you can rent the little, I guess that's a paddleboard, a footboard that you press on. But they've got some sailboats and some other paddle boards that are out there that you can also rent. I did see one group of adults get into the ones where you got to move your feet, and they did have to get towed back but by a jet ski. So if you go out there, you don't really even have to pedal. Just let the current take you wherever, and when they feel like you've gone far enough, they're going to send a jet ski out there to get you and bring you back. So not a bad experience for that. And so we're going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit more. You see there are additional beaches here for you to hang out at and to really spread out. So if you don't stop at the first beach, you really can find some remote places to go. On the left, you see where people have built some rock sculptures. This is something that I do not encourage people to do. Don't take rocks and build them up into monuments like you saw back there, because even though rocks are natural to this area, that's not the formation that they would ever take. Coming in, you now have the spa at Ocean Cay. So this is a really, really nice place. If you want a massage, you can get different treatments done out here. They're going to have cabanas as well. This is a really neat spot to be able to come, relax, and enjoy your day. If you are here for 2 days, like we were for an overnight, this is a really cool spot to be able to come and get a massage. And interestingly enough, you see the wind socket there. This is also the helipad. So if somebody has a medical issue on an MSC ship, this is one place that the helicopters can come pick them up and airlift them to a different location for treatment. This is also one of the most beautiful places on the island, and it is the wedding venue. So it's where people can get married. It was set up earlier today with white wooden chairs with that beautiful aqua-colored cushion that MSC is known for, and it looked like an amazing time that couple was having. All right, so that is the most extreme side of the island. It is the farthest out there. So if you are walking to the spot, do make sure you take that transportation once again. Now we're going to walk all the way back, but we're going to keep going forward, or going south in this case, and this walkway will take us directly to the lighthouse. Though there are some cool things along the way. Again, you're going to have bars, you're going to have the rental place here on the right, kayaks are over on your left is where you can pick those up from. But this is just my absolute favorite beach because you see how few people are here. And it is that relaxing and chill vibe that I love when I am on vacation. Here's where it kind of splits off and we start getting into the southern side of Sunset Beach. Again, you can see how many rocks there are there. Just not something that, is great when you get to the south side, but stay more to the north side. There's more trees there as well to protect you. But here's one of the other nice bars that are on the island. I know we talked about the very first one we came to, but if you want to do a little bit of a walk, there's a bar down there with seats out on the water as well. I think this one is a bit more hidden. Most people don't seem to come to this one or even know that it is there. So I would definitely recommend it as a great place to go for the day and have drinks. By the way, people that are pros at this know that you can go to the bars and they've got chairs under umbrellas that if you were the first one there, you can reserve it for the entire day and you don't have to move. So if we keep walking, we come to the place where you get the best views of the cruise ship, number one, from an actual beach that's open, but this is going to be Lighthouse Bay. This is the most popular beach. It's also the closest to the ship. So when you get off the ship, instead of staying forward the way that we did to head towards South Beach, you're simply going to cut to your left through the transportation pavilion there where the golf carts pick up, and it's going to be right on the other side for you to enjoy. They've got different styles of chairs over here. So one thing that you're going to notice, they don't have lounge chairs in this section, which I found a little bit odd. But what they do have are beanbag chairs and these brightly colored chairs that you can sit in. So they're normal sitting chairs, and they've got a few of the, I forget the name of the wood that you have out there, that has a pretty big recline to it. That is what they're going to have here. So for me, this is not my favorite beach, simply because it doesn't have the right kinds of chairs for me. But it's got beautiful views of the ship and beautiful views of the lighthouse here. And also, if you're looking for the best snorkeling on the island, this is also where you're going to want to come to. There is a net, again, to keep the big fish out from the place where we are swimming at, but it is a really good place. The fish love the rocks. They love the reef around there. And I think they even enjoy the ship a little bit. On the far side here is where I would say go for your sunset picture. So I'm a huge fan for overnights of being here at sunset. If you stand over there, you're going to see the sun setting on the water, and it is just so pretty. The oranges and different colors that the sky puts off, or that the sun puts off, is just a really, really amazing experience. The lighthouse here is also really unique. So it's probably tough to see in the video because I couldn't see with my own eyes, but it's actually millions of LED lights. So for the evening time when you are here, if you get an overnight, if you're lucky enough to get an overnight at MSC's Ocean Cay, it turns into an LED display. And they've got a 4-minute presentation, or I don't know what the right term is, but they've got a 4-minute show that the lighthouse will put on. It's choreographed to music, and it's absolutely beautiful and stunning. So make sure that you're there, checking your times from your cruise compass to know when you need to be outside to watch this. It is only 4 minutes. It's offered twice, and they do start it promptly. So if you are running ever so slightly late, you're going to totally miss this. The lighthouse is also going to do tours. So if you want to go up in the lighthouse, that is going to be an additional fee. I think the last time I was there was $11, but I feel like that may have gone up a little bit. And they're going to give you the history of the island on this tour as well. So it's not just a tour guide walking you up and then walking you back down. They're going to give you the history of the island and what you need to know. But you can kind of see how the LED lights are going to be all throughout this. Make sure you're checking out my other video on my review of Ocean Cay, and it'll really show you what this looks like when it lights up. The lighthouse also has the lighthouse bar. So again, a third bar that you can kind of choose from. I think this is the more popular one because this is the one that you can really see from the ship and has awesome views of the ship itself. It would be probably, if I was going to one of these bars, I would do this one or the one we saw out on the water just before it. But the other one's even closer. The very first one we got to, not a bad option either. But the guys here, as you can see, they are ready to welcome their guests in. They are a good time. And I think that, you know, if you want a bar, if you don't want to do the beach, or if you just want to come back for afternoon drinks or even morning drinks, judgment-free zone on a cruise, this is an awesome spot where you can do that. And that is the full walking tour of MSC's Ocean Cay. We're going to walk back to the ship now, but it is a really direct shot to get back to the ship. I will say, if you have not done MSC's Ocean Cay, it is probably quickly becoming one of my favorite private islands that is out there. I love how secluded it is. This sand and the water, you all, is absolutely beautiful, as long as you're not on the rocks at least. The sand there is still beautiful. The rocks, not so much on Sunset Beach, but it is a beautiful time, and it doesn't have that commercialized feel that a lot of the private islands are going for these days, where you look at the island and there's a lot of non-natural items that are there, man-made items, if you will, that have been brought in to raise revenue, and I totally get it. That is a great experience as well, depending on what you're going for. If you are a family, that might be the way that you want to go. Keeping in mind, all of those activities are going to come at a significant cost per person in addition to your cruise. But in this case, just about everything's included because there's not that much there. You're going to be able to rent a few of the paddle boards, some of the mats, but at the end of the day, you can only spend so much money on those things that'll not even come close to what you can spend if you go to Royal Caribbean's Coco Cay. It might even leave you some money that you can come shopping at the MSC Foundation here to buy something to remember your trip by. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon.